If that's just like a little too long, like I think I might need to edit that a little bit. Just, I don't know. What are you thinking, Mark? You think we gotta edit that a little bit? Think it's a little too long? Think it's the right size?
No, I kind of like it. I think it's about the right length. I mean, we've had it for so long. It just feels right now, you know?
Speaking of feeling right, look at this man. Man, you're just looking fresh today, Brian. Like
I feel
I'm just
fresh.
loving it.
You know, it's a new season. I'm trying to get ahead of all the New Year's people. New year, new me. We're gonna go with the new month, new me.
Speaking of new, Mr. Caleb Knight in I mean, people can't see because we got the. Is that Del Mar? What?
That is the duct.
Oh, it's a duct. So people can't see that you're in some new digs, but yeah, the Caleb's. Wait, are you recording this from your old house?
No, I'm in the new house,
Nice.
but there's boxes and shit everywhere, so I got the background up.
There we go. That's smart. I mean, I always have boxes and shit, so I always just kind of blur it here. But yeah, we're on the wrong lead. We got a busy weekend coming up, man. Like Fairgrounds card looks good. Santa Anita is looking good. And you know, we got a little bit of Turfway going on right now. Stephen Fox is he's already coming in with the League of Legends talk. What's the gin lane? And Brian looks serious. And Brian doesn't even know about the surprise today. So
Brian's lucky he's not falling over right now.
yeah, I know you're feeling a little dizzy, but if you need a pop off, let me know here. Jay says he's trying a new whiskey tonight called Tin Cup. He likes it. Caleb, have you had Tin Cup?
I've seen it in the store, but I have not tried it.
Yeah, I've seen it too. I haven't had it. Brian, you are more adventurous and more likely to just pick up a random bottle. Have you tried it?
I have not, no. And so far, I'm 0 for 3 on random bottles I've tried. So we'll see if tonight was supposed to be the. Well, what the heck was it again?
Oval Rye.
Oh no, I was gonna go. I went with the Russell Reserve today.
Oh
but,
yeah, the Russell Reserve. That's good.
Given the fact I'm already dizzy for other issues, I will not be drinking tonight.
Yeah, no, it's a nice bottle. There's a couple others that I like a little better in that price range, so I just like never buy it. But then the more expensive Russells are really good. The single barrels, one with the red label, those are usually really good, and you can usually get like store picks of them. Mark, apparently Murphy, our boy Greg, is saying that you are close to being able to play Santa. Hopefully, I mean, well, Greg right now is not with his wife, but we are currently trying to convince Greg into coming out to Las Vegas in a couple weeks. So apparently his wife is really excited, and we said that Caleb is coming, and now his wife is just like absolutely like I love that. So I don't know what that means for you, Greg, but like the funny thing, like I got a kick out of Greg telling us that every time he starts laughing at a text message or something from us, his wife is like, "Was that Caleb? Are you talking to Caleb right now?" Like it's like it's the only name she remembers. I mean, probably the only face she's gonna remember too. But you know,
It's a little easier than remembering. Was that Cherry Drank or BD Horse Player? I mean,
and Stephen Fox saying his gambling strategy is very similar to the movie Tin Cup. He always bets the 7 horse. But yeah, I mean, Santa Anita is going to be a little tricky. Apparently California is supposed to get some rain. So, Mark, I don't know if you've kept up with the weather at all, or Caleb or any of you guys. What's it looking like? Are we definitely going to be like washed off here on Sunday, or?
They've had some real nasty weather. I was talking with some of our staff today, and they got some crazy stuff that came through over the past couple of days. I don't know how it's going to affect Santa Anita by Sunday. They may have a chance to work the track and get it fixed out. But yeah, the rumor mill is it might be a little interesting.
I've been gone for a few weeks. We have On the Wrong Lead staff in California now.
That's
Did I miss
exactly
that
what I was
memo?
thinking. I was like, what did we hire an intern? Did we steal Dark's intern? Is that what happened?
If we have an intern and Mark's got a hold of the intern, then I quit.
Yeah.
Because he'd probably haze the hell out of the intern, and then we'd have issues.
That's like a business negligence right there. But yeah, so as usual, I mean, we're going to talk about this as if everything's on the turf, as if we're fast. Mark, I know sometimes, I don't know if you've had a time to, I know sometimes you cap for both. So if you have any opinions on anything being off or anything, you can toss them in as we go. But
yeah, I just pulled up the weather, Josh. They're calling for an 1.5 inches today, a 10th Friday, 3/10 Saturday. Sunday, the weather looks okay, but with that much rain over those 3 days, I would assume we're going to be off.
Okay. Like I said, I'm going to go through it like as if we're on, but make sure you guys, pay attention, especially when you put your wagers in. I'll tell you, Andy Serling is wrong about a lot of things, but one thing he is right about is that the public, like, sometimes will still just bet these turf horses when they're running on off track. So it's always important to keep an eye on things and look for that mud pedigree and other stuff there. But let's keep on going here. Murphy says anything more than 1/4 inch of rain in California is called a flood, by the way. So this is the monsoon or something else.
Probably not wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
But well, let's start here with race 5, the San Gabriel. Before we really get into it, I do need to ask Caleb. I need a Juan check on the one here, Indian Peak.
Don't like him.
Okay, so Indian Peak is going to be my lone A in this race. Well, I mean, he is actually one of my A's in this spot. Your 8-5 favorite is going to be hit the road here. Umberto Rispoli riding for Dan Blacker. Rispoli's ridden this horse a number of times before Flo got aboard and just decided to go on a huge losing streak. Surprise, surprise. But you hit the road coming over to the, I think he's getting a ton of relief here. I don't think he's got near the quality of horse that he's been facing as of late. I just think he's going to be really short, and I feel just as strongly about 2 other horses in this spot, and I think I'm going to get a better price. So I'm going to have a soft fade here and hit the road. Like, this is one of those spots, right, where I would probably make this horse a B. However, making an 8-5 a B just like feels bad to me. But before I start trashing every single horse and mention every single horse, we do have a new wrinkle today. This is something new I'm going to try out, and we'll see what happens. Mr. Brian Duransky, why don't you go first? What do you like in this spot here?
Oh Lord, my heart. I don't know what to say right now. This is a Christmas miracle. God bless us, everyone. Well, I feel like I should make a Tiny Tim reference, but I don't want to ruin this with the Mark joke, so let me move on. Since I'm going to go first, I'm going to go out on a ledge here. I think you were onto something with Hit the Road, but because I'm a fool, right? There's one horse with a jockey on there. His name is Jose Valdivia Jr. Well, don't shake your head. Give it to me. Go on, keep going. Right, there it is.
Bob and Jackie.
And you know why? I think Bob and Jackie is pace advantaged here. I think the horse fits at 8-1. I kind of like it. Are you drawing cherries on there? Oh, look at that. And it's just one of those horses I think at 8-1 is a ridiculous morning line. And let Red Storm Risen and Hit the Road take all the money, in my opinion. I think Bob and Jackie gets a little bit of help here. And if it stays on the turf, probably is back in class where this horse should be. So I don't really have anything smart to say. I didn't handicap a whole lot because of the whole dizzy thing, and but this one stuck out to me as a horse that I think I'd have to probably say, hey, I'm going to go against everybody else and go out on the ledge and say, let's single Bob and Jackie.
I will say, I think Bob and Jackie's probably run his best races at Santa Anita. I think maybe there's one other in Belmar. He ran a pretty decent one in a restricted stakes, but has run some really nice races here at Santa Anita early in this like early part of the year. So I think I think the horse makes sense here. Murphy already he talked about Red Storm Risen here from San Gabriel. That's kind of my top pick in this spot. I know this is the horse that's kind of coming up and moving up in class, and obviously Rispoli is getting off and jumping aboard, hit the road here in this spot. But I mean, Rispoli's basically ridden like 2/3 of the horses in this race, so. And I mean, he's really clearly going to take a hit the road here. But yeah, I mean, you get Flavian Pratt. I don't think you lose anything there. So Red Storm Risen's kind of my A, and then the Juan horse, the one. I forgot the name. Indian Peak is going to be an A for me as well, and it's going to be more of a price play. I know it's leaving the Peter Miller barn, but I just think that. This horse will probably get that first run on the rest of these horses here. So I'm gonna go 1-6. Caleb, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, this was a bit of a tough race because I do think the favorite looks pretty tough in here. Hit the road. Looking at his pedigree, you wouldn't really think that 9 is better than 8 as far as distance goes. 9 furlongs is better than 8. But if you look at the way he finishes off races, it kind of does seem like maybe that extra furlong might be the difference between finishing for third or actually getting a win. Rispoli had a ton of choices and ends up here. There's no real need to spend too much time talking about him. He looks like the horse to beat here. I did kind of like Brian's pick, Bob and Jackie. I don't know that this horse really wants to go 9 furlongs either, but he should be. I know Murphy kind of thinks the 6 might be able to wire here, but I kind of think maybe the 3 is just as quick, if not quicker, just depending on what the riders decide to do. So I thought Bob and Jackie would be interesting from a pace dynamics kind of setup. But I do think Hit the Road is going to be tough. And then, I don't like your Indian Peak horse at all. I think this is too far, even though he does have a win at this distance at some point. I think this is just too far. And then, it's a tough race beyond that. I think there's a lot of ways you can go.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think Hit the Road is probably your most likely winner, but because no one else has talked about him, I sort of think Friars Road, the 2, is a little bit interesting in here. He's going to be quite a bit out of it, but he's a horse that fits on figures. I know, we're obviously Rispoli had choice. Rispoli does have a win on this one, but you're getting Jose Ortiz, and Jose Ortiz is pretty damn good on the turf. He's coming out some fairly classy races, and I think it's for me it's between Friars Road and Hit the Road. But I will say I assume that this comes off. Now this does come off. I think Friars Road is probably your horse. He's shown the ability to run on dirt quite well, and a lot of Thomason figures. So he's got the old big fat Tommies. So he's a horse that I think is super super interesting as well if this does end up on the dirt. And we're almost at the post. 2 minutes to go, Josh, at Turfway.
What are you liking here at Turfway? You got anything?
Yeah, I got to pick 3 that cashes to the 2, the 5, and the 6 here. So
that's not good.
Not good.
Talk about a horse. Well, I was going to talk about a horse in this spot. Wait, am I looking at the right race? Sorry, I
race 6. Yeah,
race 6.
Yep. The 5 is taking all the money here.
Why? The 7's going to win.
Dude. I was like, man, this board is crazy. I was looking at Sunday, so I was like, what the heck is not going on with this board? Never mind. I don't think I have a strong opinion in this race. Yeah, the 5 looks like he's going to come off the pace and just win for fun.
I was trying to make an argument for the 4 or the 7 here, but
I mean, I think the 5 is over bat, right? But the 5 makes some sense here.
based off of kind of what we're seeing here from the pace dynamics, maybe you make a case for the 1. The 1. This trainer is 2 for 8, maiden winner last time out. Is shipping in from Indiana. It looks like this horse is going to want to come. I mean, this horse won last time out from way off of it. I don't know if this horse is it's fast enough. Let's see what.
I don't know if the horse is fast enough, and horses really haven't been coming from way off from it. They've been sort of sitting pocket trips. That sort of sit the pocket, roll wide into the stretch, and you don't. I don't think you want to be the lone leader, or you don't want to be that sort of E8 Sendy type horse. But I think you want to sort of sit just off. I think I guess my issue is your 1 may have a little too much to do in the lane.
Yeah, I kind of like the 1 and the 2 here a little bit. But you said you had the 2 here?
Yeah, I got the 2, the 5, and the 6. 2 is best for me by quite a bit.
Yeah, 2 makes a lot of sense in this spot too.
I don't know what to do in these races when Corrales doesn't have a mount. Who do you bet?
I thought Corrales was on the 5. No, it's
Ray,
is it?
Never mind.
Ray Lou's on the 5.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm still getting stuff mixed up because like I said, I was looking at time form on my end, and I had Sunday's PPs up because I was capping Santa Anita before this. So
Just before they break, the 3 at 35 to 1 is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no
Lord.
horse in this race that should be that kind of price. I would 100% agree with you.
yeah, best race was at Belterra on the turf. So if that turf,
And the 3's worth a bet just at that price. I 35 to 1 is ridiculous. The room's not spinning anymore. You guys will be happy to know.
that's good.
Ah, excellent,
That's
excellent.
a big upgrade.
It really is.
All right, your 3's going Sunday.
Well, I kind of expected that there based on the previous running lines, right? I mean, the 3, that was the only chance they had.
I don't hate this. I mean, I actually really kind of like this move. I mean, I don't know if I want to be this loose, but
I think the time's going to come back a little too quick for this surface.
It's
Yeah,
pretty fast. Yeah.
it looks like he hasn't really gotten the horse to settle either. So
At that
he set
point, you
my
just gotta go
2 up
for it.
nicely though.
The 7's in a great spot.
Yeah, your 7's gonna boom me, isn't he?
Is it a B?
I didn't use it, so sure.
I think it's 2 or 6 here.
No, I think it's 7 from here.
6 looks like a lot, but
6 is rolling. Yeah.
yep. 7 drifted a little too much, just didn't have it.
06 is playing.
Yeah, boy, that was interesting. Hopefully they don't look at that.
I'll tell you, if they look at that, I got the exacta because I boxed the 1 and the 2.
But I'm dead in everything if they look at
You're
that.
dead
So
in everything. So I only have the exacta for $2, so I'm assuming that what you got is going to be paying a little bit more. I mean, the one had the trip I thought. The one had the trip I thought.
Boy, that
29 to 1.
5 did not run a step.
I mean,
I think like we properly called that 5 was just way over bet.
But all right, let's move on. We'll see. We'll keep an eye, see if they look at it, but I doubt they will. They will. Let's move on to race 6 here, the San Antonio. Going to mile and 16th on the dirt here. I believe your morning line favorite is going to be 6-5 Hot Rod Charlie. I think 6-5 is a joke. But
3 to 5, 3 to 5.
you know, I'm gonna. I have to actually. I forgot. We gotta go to the gimmick here. Mr. Brian Duransky going first.
Oh, I'm a gimmick all night.
Yeah. Hey, you say you never get to go first, so you're going first
And I
every
did,
time tonight, baby.
and I didn't handicap anything. Wow. Hot Rod Charlie probably wins this. Back to you. No, it's one of those things. Hot Rod Charlie is going to take a lot of money, and probably rightfully so. Eight rings. You look at what Eight Rings did in the Native Diver. Do you feel comfortable betting that horse coming back? Is Bob continuing his mission here? Um, Frankly, it's one of those races where if it's fast, could this turn into something where Azul Coast can sit a trip and Juan comes through and Marky to be there? Or I'm trying to talk about every horse like you kind of do when you go first. So maybe we pay the rent with Kent. I don't know. Maybe we Wario with Mario. I got nothing. Guys, I have nothing intelligent to say. I told you I didn't handicap, so now I'm just embarrassing myself. But let's go Hot Rod Charlie at like 1-2 probably to win.
I honestly don't blame anybody for just singling Hot Rod Charlie in the spot. It seems like the simple move. My only question is does Hot Rod Charlie get short enough to where Eight Rings sits at a good price, or do you think that Baffert alone is going to keep Eight Rings price too low?
I mean, Hot Rod Charlie's going to be short, but Eight Rings is probably not the horse that I would look to take advantage of that with personally. But you'll probably get, I don't know, that people are going to be scared off by that last race. I think you'll get 4 to 5 to 1 on Eight Rings. He'll be probably third choice after the 2.
Josh, you're going to get me taken down, aren't you?
No.
Yeah, they're looking at it.
Oh, no.
7 versus the 6.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. I have a $2 exacta with the 1 over the 2, and I have $4 to win.
He's not that
So
sorry.
you actually think the 2 will be bet down beyond 8 rings, huh, Caleb? I've had the 4 or the 5 as the top 2 money takers there.
I mean, the 4 is going to be a clear cut, odds on 1 to 2 kind of horse, probably maybe 2 to 5. I don't know. I think 8 Rings and Express Train probably both flirt with that 7 to 2 to 9 to 2 range, maybe 5 to 1.
So who do you like here then, Kid? Like, is a little close?
I don't think Hot Rod Charlie can probably lose, and if I was really going to get creative, it'd probably be with the 2. Actually, I'm sorry, not the 2. It would actually be with the 6. Kiss Today Goodbye. I don't know that he can. He probably can't win. If Hot Rod Charlie shows up, he can't win. But he has run some big races in the past, especially at Santa Anita. He won this race last year. So if I was looking to, avoid a Baffert horse and try to find a horse that I think is going to be longer than that 5 to 1 morning line, because it sort of feels like the morning line odds maker in this race just said, all right, Hot Rod Charlie, and then fuck the rest of them. They can all be 4 to 1. But, I don't think you're going to get the same price on Kiss Today Goodbye as you are 8 Rings. I mean, I think one will be a much more attractive price. So I might go for him if I was looking to get around Charlie, but honestly, I'm really not.
Yeah, I basically see how Caleb does. I think Hot Rod Charlie is your likeliest winner. Lone A type on any ticket, and I think after 8 Rings is his last effort. I don't really know if I want any 8 Rings, and I would actually to 100% agree with Caleb. I think Kiss Today Goodbye is the sort of interesting outsider type that maybe like Santa Anita, and this might be the right distance for.
Jay saying it's not looking good for the 6 at Turfway, unfortunately.
No, I think the 6 probably comes down after that. But I thought that live too, so I mean that was. Yeah. He couldn't give me switch leads. So.
Does $192 exacta for me make you feel any better? Like maybe a little bit? No?
No.
Okay.
This reminds me of last year on New Year's Day. You guys remember New Year's Day last year?
Fuck no.
I do actually. I do. I do. Caleb, you should remember New Year's Day.
That's the pick.
Yeah, that's the day.
That was New Year's Day. I forgot about that.
Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, I didn't do shit New Year's because I had COVID. So yeah, I do remember that now.
You know why else you didn't do anything New Year's? Because you're not 22 years old anymore.
I mean, I could have watched the ball drop, maybe.
That was a time that we were just knocking out Siege. We were playing Rainbow Six Siege.
That is true.
Oh goodness. And I think Caleb went through like a record amount of bourbon that month too.
One baby splash at a time.
Baby splash at a time. So I guess my thinking for 8 Rings in this spot was the pace play. I thought 8 Rings would kind of be controlling speed.
No change at Turfway.
Oh wow, really?
I cannot believe that did not come down. because that definitely did
unfortunate.
affect the 7 getting a placing. I mean, the 7 wasn't going to win, but
the 7
the
should have got
7
third.
second or third, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, my reasoning for 8 rings was just, hey, I think he might just get out loose on the lead and go. But I think Hot Rod Charlie is, I don't know, just going to sit just off. He's going to get a nice trip, and he's the type of horse that doesn't really get into a ton of trouble unless he's trying to cut somebody off in the stretch. So, hopefully he just clears 8 rings.
You actually thought 8 rings would be out there in front of Hot Rod Charlie?
Yeah.
Man, okay. I mean, it's an opinion. It's not wrong. It just surprises me considering the quote unquote class relief Hot Rod Charlie gets here as a speed horse. I figure that's the only way they're going to go, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
all
I mean, 8 rings.
That's all his wins have come.
Yeah, I mean, 8 rings has basically sat close to or on the lead or on or close to lead on shorter races. So I just assume that he's got a little bit more speed if he wants to use it there.
To pull up my Brian Duransky hat, because Brian went first this time. Hot Rod Charlie and 8 rings, both of them have only ever won on the lead. Is there any chance the two of them hook up and go stupid on the front end and this comes apart?
I think you got two smarter jockeys to have that happen.
I would tend to agree, but
with the blinkers coming off for both, I think that's probably not super likely, but it is possible.
If that's the case, then I think that's Caleb. That sets up for Caleb 6.
Yeah. Yep, agreed.
All right, so yeah, Stephen Fox has already fallen asleep here because, as usual, it's like a 4-horse field, and we spent 15 minutes talking about it. PDT, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well. I am drinking PDT. I'm drinking your Secret Santa gift. Thank you again. It's actually really good. Move on to race 7, the Santa Anita Mathis Mile, going a mile on the turf. Once again, we're going to talk as if this is on the turf. Good chance that this is just going to get washed off. Brian.
I thought this one was interesting from a pace perspective. It's one of those races where I'm going to talk Cane Creek Road right into the lead, then the horse is going to fade away in like the half mile. But at first glance, I'm sitting here looking, and it's like I think the 5 gets the easy lead, and whether or not Victor goes crazy with it, I don't know. The fact that I don't have the proper form in front of me, it looks like it is Doug O'Neill's first out for this horse, right? Yes. So I
send after the claim.
Exactly. So it's an interesting spot to come back with this horse here, coming out of a $50,000 claimer right into a stakes race. So who am I to question Doug with a speed horse? Morning line's 20-1. That being said, I think most of the money is going to go through the 7 du jour, and probably rightfully so, but it's Baffert on turf, so I'll save that one for Caleb.
Caleb.
Yeah. Since we already know that Josh is going to bet du jour as a single A and have a 16 cherry sundae, I don't want to talk about du jour. Isn't that the stuff that you put on your roast beef sandwiches? But anyway, no.
It's au jus.
Close enough. We know this is a Natalie
Baffert
Baffert
about
horse.
The soup du jour, like soup of the day.
Yeah, maybe I knew it was a food thing. Yeah, this horse has sucked lately. I mean, and you can blame it on out of the Baffert barn, maybe, but I just don't think he's that good. So yeah, I'm not gonna have du jour or anything. There was 2 horses in here I liked. The horse I probably like the best is number 6, Flashiest. They're actually both horses I like here are closers, so it's kind of tough to do that a mile at Santa Anita, but I'm gonna take a shot anyway. I think Flashiest is perfect at the mile distance here, 3 for 3. And I think they just kind of keep trying to make him into a mile and an 1/8 or a mile and 3/16 horse, and that just doesn't really seem to be what he wants to do. So I think getting back to the mile here should be pretty much just what the doctor ordered here, even though it is Abel Cedillo up, who's not been great lately. I do like Flashiest here. I think he kind of fits. And if King Creek Road goes, I also sort of thought that Beyond Brilliant, the 8 horse, kind of had to go. Beyond Brilliant's clearly the class between a class of the speed anyway. But it felt like to me they both sort of had to go because I don't see Beyond Brilliant really rating and winning this race. So I was hoping there might be enough speed to set it up for a closer. The other one I kind of looked at was number 4, Zaffarelli. This is really a deep closer, and this mile might be a touch on the sharp side because he always does seem to be coming on late and just kind of leaving himself with too much to do. But if you look at his running lines, in 3 of his last 4 starts, he's had trouble. I mean, lacked room at the upper stretch, lacked room upper and late, rallied and then pinballed. Actually got put up via DQ in one of those. And if you go back to what he was racing over in Europe, they did race him pretty much exclusively at 7 furlongs in a mile. So to me, that kind of suggests that despite maybe part of the pedigree, we see that and think he wants to go really long, that maybe he is actually just better going a little shorter. So the cut back to the mile here has me a little bit intrigued, and I think this horse does have talent and closes awful strong with some legitimate excuses in a couple of his last starts. So I like Zaffarelli and flashiest here.
So Caleb, before I give my pick, what's your feelings on the 2 in here?
The 2. Tarantino, didn't like it.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. Good. So Tarantino is going to be my top pick then in this race. You're getting Juan Hernandez, who apparently had other choices in this race and lands on this horse. You have Ed Moger, who is a 9% trainer, just happens to be 26% in the past year when he uses Juan. So that's clearly his go-to jock. If you cross off all of the non-turf races for this horse, pretty darn interesting. Horse has never missed the trifecta on the green stuff, and is a horse that can be somewhat forwardly placed, which I like from a running style standpoint at Santa Anita. Obviously the trainer is 0 for 32 with horses first in his barn, but he's going to his top tier jock. You're getting a horse that seems to be improving with every single turf start, and there's some other horses in here who are quote unquote better on what they've done, but I want the kind of new face in here, the horse of now, and also the horse is 2 wins and a second at this distance. So I want the kind of fresh new face that I don't know what I have yet, and thinking there's still some upside here.
All right, Mark, I want to paint a picture for you. Okay, it's Christmas, right? Christmas is right around the corner, right? You're a broke college student. Right, you're trying to do right. So you're buying all these gifts, right? And all of a sudden it's the 26th. All right, what's right around the corner? The 1st. What's on the 1st? Rent's due. What do you do when rent's due?
You go find Ken.
Yeah, you got to find Kent. This is gonna be a lone A. I think Beyond Brilliant should. I think this is going to be a good spot. I know that you got a little bit of a cutback here, so you got a horse that has been going an extra furlong on the lead. So I don't necessarily think that the horse. I think this horse will be able to have a little extra if he's got to sit just off here, going the mile. I think like Caleb had said, I think this is the classiest horse in the race, which I know doesn't matter, but. Yeah, I thought Beyond Brilliant is going to be kind of a lone A for me here. Wasn't interested in Du Jour. I did look really hard at the 5. I said I was not interested in Du Jour, even though it is going back to the Baffert barn. I did look a little hard at the 5, Cane Creek Road, and I do like your 4 actually, Caleb, Zaffarelli. I think if I were to use any kind of B. Or do it more like spread a little bit more in this race, I would definitely include the 4 in this spot. But 8's going to be my top pick and basically a single A.
Hey Josh, any thought on Beyond Brilliant being fairly obviously in every other horse and this being the other?
No.
Horses never really run big back-to-back figures, and
no, I mean. I don't know. I think it hasn't run big back-to-back figures, but is going to get a little bit of a cutback here. So I kind of like it. Jay's over here. He likes the 6 flashiest, so he's matching up with Caleb, and he likes the 9 Law Professor here.
I kind of like the 9 a little too.
Jose Ortiz riding again for Michael McCarthy, just like the race before. What do you kind of like about this 9 here, Mark?
Just again, an outsider. It's a horse I didn't know what's there yet, and there still might be some upside. It feels like they tried to make this horse into being, a dirt horse. They decided, oh yeah, we actually have a turf horse here. And the both turf races, you've seen some improvement. So, or improvement from the first to the second turf race, I should say. Can be horses can be forwardly placed. Jose should be able to be pretty tactical here, kind of set that pocket trip. And I thought it was an interesting horse that probably still has some upside. And I think this is one of those races you're getting to that tail end of that 3-year-old season. A lot of these horses have had, long campaigns. I'm looking for that fresh face, that horse of the now that still has the upside, as opposed to horses I kind of know what they are with a lot of horses like Du Jour, for instance.
I appreciate you guys putting Du Jour in the winner circle. So, guys, if you're watching, go ahead and single that 7 now. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, we did a good job with that. What was it last week? So,
who was it? The Pletcher
horse. The Pletcher filly.
Yeah, Sweet Melania.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Put her right in the winner's circle.
Like literally, like the horse wasn't even like one of like the top 4 or 5 choices, and I still picked it out to pick on it, and we fucking won.
I think I also picked it out to pick on it on a horse that hadn't won in forever, and yeah, we right in the winner's circle.
All right, let's keep on going. We're gonna move on to La Brea here. 7 furlongs for 3-year-old fillies. Your 8-5 favorite is gonna be Private Mission. I'm gonna give Brian a break here. Mark, are you gonna? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about this Private Mission here, this Baffert? You think this is a single, or you think you're looking somewhere else?
I don't know. Yeah, she probably is a single for most people on most tickets. I thought I could make a case for the 4 and the 7, and beyond that, I really had a hard time making a case for any other horse in this race. I just I don't know. I mean, one second, let me get to my other sheet here.
How can you overlook
real
the Zia Park shipper?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I thought this race came up somewhat suspect, somewhat soft. I thought the only horses with real figures that were fast enough to win were Private Mission or Living My Best Life. I'll have to see how the track's playing. If speed's being really favorable, I might get more aggressive to the 7, who's won 2 in a row and seems to be sort of figuring it out. But I really had a hard time getting beyond the 2 favorites. So, well, I guess Missy P is the second choice, but I didn't really love Missy P. So I had a hard time getting between the 4 and the 7, or beyond the 4 and the 7, I should say.
So, Caleb, did you notice that I opened not but 1 but 2 bottles on stream?
I saw that. What you got going on?
They're all twist tops. So I can open these easily.
I thought you got your wife to do it, but that makes sense too.
Yeah, I'm gonna fade Private Mission in the spot. I'm gonna hope that that last race took something out of her, and she needs maybe a little longer to recover. Maybe not run to her best form coming off that distaff. And I'm gonna go with the horse that seems to have kind of improved every time out.
Wait, so Josh is going to the E8, shocker.
Yeah, the 7, Living My Best Life. But before I christen this as a lone A, Caleb, once again,
I have bad news for you, Josh. I like this one horse.
Blessed. Finally found one he likes.
I do like this one horse. On the cutback, probably controlling speed, outside post, gets to see what's going on. I mean, I like this horse.
As a lone A for me, I'm gonna go ahead and have that soft fade on the Baffert, and just hope that the horse that was it, that she's just done. But
I gave a look to the 3, the other Baffert. I mean, horse bled last time out, so kind of draw a line through that one. But this kind of was the Baffert horse like earlier in the year. I mean, as a 2-year-old and then early in her 3-year-old season. I mean, clearly, the Derby undercard didn't. Or not the Derby undercard. Yeah, the 8 Bells didn't go well. But, anyone, I mean, it feels like an odd spot for this horse to show up considering Baffert does have Private Mission. I mean, maybe she'll scratch because he does do that sometimes. But does anyone give her much of a look here?
The clip
really.
Yes.
See, I didn't. But go ahead, Brian.
I thought it made a lot of sense, frankly. Like you said, Caleb, you toss out the last race at Churchill Downs where she bled. And she was coming into a good form at 8.5 furlongs. Now comes back to California at 7 furlongs. If this horse is going to be a winner, this is the kind of race this horse is going to win, right? I like the change back to 7 furlongs. I like coming back to California. And then even with the layoff, the workouts have been decent and not staggering, but it's Baffert who likes to send them. You see 5 furlongs at 59. So It's right where she should be. It looks like she's working good. Probably going to be a decent price.
Right. And part of the reason I brought that up, and you mentioned the workouts, which is if you look at the work tab, I mean, I don't have the workout reports or anything like that, and nor have I went on to XBTV. But Calypso and Private Mission do share 2 common works on the 13th and the 6th of December at the same distance. And it looks like Calypso finishes about a length in front. I don't even know if they're working in tandem. Somebody should watch XBTV and let me know in the chat. But if they are, that would be something that I would find a little bit interesting if the 3 may actually be outworking the 4 and you're getting, 8 times the price.
Yeah, I guess when I first looked at it, I didn't realize how long the layoff had been, and I didn't realize she'd been out for that long. So I probably have to take a second look at Calypso, just figuring she has every right to improve with given that much layoff. My initial pass was sort of, her Santa Anita races were just not good enough to be a player here, but those were going on a year ago now. So probably need to take a second look.
It's probably worth mentioning the Pride and Joy of Hobbs, New Mexico. Just a little bit. Nobody? We'll just move on. I'll just shut up.
One?
You're going to talk about canoodling?
Why not? It's funny if you go by any algorithm type software or program, they like the 1 based on the one's last out. So it wouldn't surprise me to see, this is the kind of horse that if anybody's playing a contest, would probably be in like every mythical selection. You'll probably see this horse on like 25% of the tickets. And it's going to be funny to me. But yay, Zia Park.
It looks like it's leaving Todd Fincher's barn. Todd Fincher had, what horse did he have last year, Caleb? He won the Springboard Mile.
Senor Buscador.
Oh, Senor Buscador. I was so
How do you guys come up with this stuff? Man.
Yeah. But, it looks like leaving the barn of Todd Fincher going to Mike Pipey. Mike... Well,
sorry.
No,
I thought I was muted.
Yeah, to answer Jay, I mean, it's the Breeders' Cup. I tend to give horses in Breeders' Cup races who just don't run their race. I'll draw a line through those types of races. I mean, the company there should be just theoretically a lot better here, or a lot better than what you're talking today.
I mean, if you watch the race, it completely, absolutely, unequivocally melted down. I mean, it has some of the highest early pace figures on time form I think I've ever seen. Closer just absolutely dominated that race. So I give a pass to anyone who was on or near the lead that day in that race.
Yeah, they went nuclear.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not exactly keen to take a short price on a horse off just absolutely career worst effort. So that's why I wanted to look elsewhere, and I thought the Living Your Best Life, I think, is going to have a nice little trip there on the lead. So I'm just kidding. I saw the E8 and I was like, all right. Moving on. Mark, are you live to anything here at Turfway?
1, the 5, and the 9.
1, the 5, and 9.
You skipping race 9 at Santa Anita, Josh?
We are skipping race 9 unless there's something.
I had a price in there. I kind of got a kick out of.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it right now here in a second because we're at race 7 here at Turfway.
Yep.
And you are on. Mark is on the 1, the 5,
the 5,
and the 9,
and the 9. Most of my money going to the 5.
No 6.
5. Oh,
nope.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh,
poking holes, Brian. There we go.
How do you not take Dale and Joe? I know you love Corrales. You got a little man crush.
I do have a bit of a man crush. He makes me money. Well,
Time for him looking like
You still have 4 minutes, Josh.
That's plenty of time.
I could cap the entire Turfway card on.
Yeah, that 5 appears closer on time form than other products make it seem. And how often do you get 6-1 on Cox Corrales?
I'll tell you what, man. That 6 got a huge fig last out. What's the board looking like here?
5-2 on the 6.
It was a lot better in the book. No, never mind. It was 3-1. I was looking at a different horse. Your 1 also at 5-2. I was gonna say the 1 looked a little interesting here, and the 9, which you also are on. Yeah, I think you got the logicals there. Yeah, the 5 does need to find a little bit, but I mean, I think Corrales will give the horse a little boost there. But yeah,
He tends
if
to
I
move
had to
him a pair.
go, yeah,
I
I
got
like the 5. I like your 9 too.
I
Brian?
got your back, Mark. I'm gonna go ahead and bet the 6, so you win.
Thank you.
Jay said he's going to wheel the 4 in the try at Turfway with the 2, 6, 8, 10. So he's like in surrealist here with Farron Peterson and Kenny McPeak. And
I wish Farron had a better meet. I did take quite a look at that horse, and that was that horse that was sort of that last horse I cut. Figures fit. Some of those turf figs are pretty decent, but man, she's not had a good meet. So
I'm looking your. Let's do something here. Let's do a little exacta here. Your 5.
You said you like the 1 and the 5, Mark?
yeah.
Okay, here's a stupid trifecta for you, just because I'm going to mush you. But I love you, because it's Christmas. 1-5 with 1-4-5 with 1-4-5. I put a lot of thought into that one, can you tell?
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll with the 5 and the 9 there. And it looks like we got a little bit of time. They're still dancing around there.
Do you want me to cover that Santa Anita race, Josh? The horse I
Yeah,
liked?
what did
you
you
have
like
time?
here? What did you like here in race 9?
So this is one of those races where it's an allowance non N1X, and there's a lot of horses in here that just don't ever win. There's a lot of I don't know 2 for 14s, 1 for 13s. I literally think the favorite is Fantail, who's 1 for 13. The one horse. I kind of landed. I mean, I like Fantail. Fantail makes sense on figures, but I thought the 4 Rapid Transit was sort of an interesting horse. You're getting a horse that's 6 for 17 lifetime horse, and all 6 of those wins came on turf. This is an actual turf horse that occasionally wins races, and 15-1 on the morning line. That's the kind of price that I like for kind of the known quantity in a race. Like, this horse actually can win races, where everyone else in the race has sort of shown that they don't really win races like ever. So I thought Rapid Transit was pretty interesting in here. If you're playing through this pick 5, it's kind of horse that really would spice things up, and spices things up in a race that I think has probably a lot of variance.
Hawthorne shipper.
Yeah.
I'd like the 5 there a touch. I know we're not talking about that race, but I thought Gleska Gal, the shipper coming in, was interesting at a huge price. That if there's going to be a leg that's going to give a price, it feels like this one's the one.
Yeah, I thought that
stakes
5.
for Jockey.
Yeah, Stakesfield Chalky. I thought this race was kind of a little spicy.
Caleb, remind me, what's the post position bias at the downhill?
Historically, the rail's bad if it's a big field, more than 8 horses. You want to be more outside drawn, but that's really the only thing. Small fields, less than 8 horses, it's not really a bias either way. So this has
you're saying
9 horses. I probably wouldn't use the 1, especially just at the price. I mean, that's just me personally.
And also that Fantail hates winning, and Fantail has burnt so much of my money. I think I bet that horse about 6 or 7 times.
I do like Mark's shipper there, and I kind of like that a little bit too. The another Eddie.
Mark, are you going to use Fantail defensively as a B?
No, I would toss Fantail in there, and I would go fishing for some prices in that race. And if Fantail beats me, Fantail beats me.
I'm actually really interested in the 2 super game. Once again, you got Kent aboard. But I always just like this move where they're going from a mile and they're cutting back to the downhill turf. It's just going to be whether or not, like I said, the inside is just going to be the doom for this horse.
And they're off.
Yeah, they're off at Turfway. I didn't look at the time form fix for this race at all, so I don't know how much slower the 2 is. But the 2's also kind of got that run style. I think that is pretty well suited for the downhill turf. Looks like the 11 got the lead here.
I say, does Corrales ever not get position?
No, I just think he just rides his track so well.
Somehow he broke, and just this is his trip right
Who's
here.
he on? The 5?
The 5,
5, yeah.
sitting a rail trip, saving all the ground.
He'll make some middle move that I think's too early, but somehow works.
Yeah, yep.
See, here he goes, sneaking up the fence. He's got nowhere to go though.
Mm-mm. He's trying to get outside now. I think he's trying to hope this 6 goes so we can follow. But he's getting boxed in. Or
7.
And he found room.
and he invented a trip. Go, little 5, go.
All right, now I just need this 9 to pick up the pieces here and get second.
No, you need the 5 to hold on. Doesn't look like he's going to.
That's a great ride though. You can't ask for much more.
No, you can't ask for much more.
I
Or
just don't know if he has the horse.
I don't know if he has the horse. Hold on. Nope, 9.
9 got there though, right?
Yeah,
And that 9 is a price. I
Yep.
think, right?
Made a lot of
Sweet.
sense
8 to
too.
1.
Yeah.
Mark.
No. I had the 9. 9 made a lot of sense.
Mark Cassie's been
So
on fire lately.
Mark,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Jason Beam's real famous Twitter video, right? How to root, right? I think Caleb and I talked about this one time. I'm definitely a leaner, and I've told you guys I finally bought a new chair because I broke the arm on my other chair from leaning so much watching races. Brian's kind of the Baychalk. He's kind of just like the silent guy. He just kind of sits back there, just kind of smiles. Caleb, I've seen just like much like his products, he uses all kinds of rooting and is a swearing. Mark, I'm afraid to tell you, I think you're the guy that has every horse.
This is true. This is not wrong. That's normal with how I play tickets. That is normally the case. Yes.
I hear Mark clicking, just crossing all stuff off, and he's like, "Oh, I got the 9. I got the 9."
I told you I had 3 horses: the 1, the 5, and the 9.
Oh man.
At least you're not the guy that spanks his own ass.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So, Mark, you talked about your race 9 here. So let's get to the good stuff. Yeah. The Malibu here, race 10.
Is this really the good stuff? Because if this is the good stuff,
okay. I don't know. Like, Flightline's in the sky here, right?
Yeah. I can't root for. The only horse I would use is Flightline in here. This is going to would be an ice cold single for me in the race. I mean, if you want to get around Flightline, the only horse I may want a tiny bit through, and that would be like a C, would be Triple Tap. But besides that, yeah, no, I want 95% of my money going through Flightline, and that's it.
Little baby Yoda.
You like Baby Yoda on this spot.
Little baby Yoda, little baby.
I think we kind of know what he is at this point, right?
Okay, Denny Green. They are who we thought they were.
They are who we thought we were.
That's exactly what I was going with. Well, no, I thought he was, a freak, and then he just sort of. I could excuse the Vosberg, but then that second time it sort of happens, and you go, ooh, like the wheels have come off there, right?
It's like a hidden scroll V2.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't
Perfect.
know
Yeah,
about that.
hidden scroll. Yeah.
Okay, so wait. Let's go full circle with this. This race is the Run Happy Malibu. Baby Yoda could be a late bloomer. Run Happy was a late. See where I'm going with this? What if the stars are aligning the day after Christmas?
Well, wasn't he 3-year-old champion sprinter?
Shush.
He's by Perspective, who is by Malibu Moon. I'm with you, Brian.
It's a big circle there, man. I'm just saying. And Mark, I don't remember what Run Happy did with his racing career because all I remember is the commercials. That's all I remember.
He hurt me at Saratoga. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Did they adjust the buyer for Baby Yoda? Because didn't Baby Yoda have like an eye popping buyer?
I think
that allowance right at Saratoga. Yeah, it was some stupid.
No, it's a 114.
Yeah, what was Flightline's last time out?
I thought that was the Vosberg, right? That was the one that with the crazy number.
No. Flightline's last out was a 114. The
Was it
Vos,
as well?
no. Baby Yoda's Vosberg was only an 84. He
Oh.
ran up the track. Got beat by Following C. I mean, I realize Following C's been flattered at this point, but still, has flattered that race. But
I guess I was interested because Flightline's like 10 points faster than Baby Yoda on time form. So, which is a huge discrepancy when Baby Yoda had 114 buyer.
it's almost like Baby Yoda. If you'd watched the start in his last two races, he's sort of inventing gate issues, or he's not braking well, and he's not. I mean, like if you watch that allowance race, he was very aggressive immediately. It was very forwardly placed, and then just drew off in the stretch, and it looked impressive because I was there when it happened. And then if you watch his last two, he's sort of seems like he's a horse that's sort of, I don't know, become a bit of a head case, and he's sort of inventing weird stuff out of the gate now. I don't know. I'm stretching, but yeah, I just, you guys have fun with Baby Yoda. I want none of it.
Hey, dumb question. Is the step up for Flightline a little much? And can you sit here and make an argument on the thing that doesn't matter to Josh for Dr. Scheibel?
Absolutely, you can. Just sit back and let me tell you a tale of a horse. I'll tell you a tale of a horse who.
Oh, you're gonna go here, aren't you?
Identical situation as Flightline that goes by the name of Nashville. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Nashville, but he ran 130 speed figures on time for him and was the second coming of Jesus Christ as a sprinter. And he skipped the Breeders' Cup, curiously enough, and he ran the undercard and beat up a bunch of nobodies, similar to Flightline. And then went on to run the Malibu, got sent off at a short price. I don't think he was the favorite because Charlatan was in that race, but he might have been. I can't remember. And he ran like shit. And he's been proven that he ain't shit ever since. I'm not saying that Flightline ain't shit. He cost $1 million and he has looked good. But I got a rule that you can't go from an N1X allowance into a grade 1. I've seen this happen before. It doesn't matter how good the figures look. I'm not using Flightline. I'm using Dr. Scheibel. And considering that I'm not using Flightline, I might have a bunch of horses here because I don't want to be right and not have the winner. But Dr. Scheibel, I think, is the most likely winner.
Hey, Caleb, look outside real quick. There's kids on your yard. Get them off of there.
Get out of my lawn.
Stephen Fox saying it feels like Dr. Scheibel's getting a little bit of a
but he's not fast. He's just not fast enough to win this. Dr. Scheibel,
but he's not Dr. Post.
I mean, I realize Dr. Scheibel loves to win. He's
not Dr. Disrespect either.
Guess that's me.
So Mark, you're going with Flightline on the premise that the move up in class for the E8 horse is going to do it.
I'm going with Flightline of the fact that he's just faster than everybody else in this race, and I'm less worried about class on a horse that's, when he that much towers over the field. I understand Caleb's logic in the fact of he's going versus classier horses here, not disregarding that, but it's really hard to kind of overlook the figure that he got last out.
Murphy
and the fact that he's also lone controlling speed in this race.
Murphy also agreeing that Dr. Scheibel is going to be value on whatever money. Yep.
Mark, I think you should use Dr. Scheibel defensively as a B.
I will not. I will probably single to Flightline. But no, I mean, I'm less concerned with class moves on horses that are lone speed types that kind of can invent their own trip and make their own race. I think they're less prone to that moving up in class and regressing type stuff.
Stephen Fox saying, how can you say he's not fast enough when he's a nose away from the BC Sprint? Murphy, to say he's not fast enough is huge.
He got beat by Flippin' Aloha West. And Murphy, he's not fast enough.
I mean, he is fast enough. You're assuming Flightline's going to run a 135, which would be almost unprecedented to back that up twice. I mean, Nick Sco's the only horse to have done that in as long as I can remember. So, he is fast. 122 wins this race unless Flightline shows up with that 130 fig, which is far from guaranteed.
Hey, I'm just going to go on a limb. I'm going to guess if we were to use our favorite, numbered graph straight lines, they're free for the 5 days after Christmas, that the 5 is probably perfectly poised to bounce, right? I mean, that looked like a huge effort last out. So there's probably gonna be a lot of people playing against the 5 here. So, to be completely contrarian, Caleb, you said you'd have a lot of horses here because you'd hate to be right and then miss it. You're probably in the masses there, right? There's might be a lot of people playing against Flightline here, saying, "Okay, let's take 4 horses and try to build something with this leg."
I think you're trying too hard to be contrarian. That you've made 2 double negatives and you're back with the obvious. But just kind of I get where you're coming from, but I don't think it's going to be a common. Like some people might use 2 horses here, but I don't think many people are going to use 3 or 4 horses and leave off Flightline.
Hey, what's up, Swift?
Yeah, I was saying, but Brian is using the old poker logic of he knows that I know that he knows that.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. He thinks I've got a pair of aces. I actually have 4s.
I kind of had Flightline here as a lone A, but all this talk about Flightline bouncing and you only need like a 122 to win this race has me agreeing with Brian that maybe Baby Yoda makes a lot of sense in this spot.
Oh, you love Baby Yoda.
I hate Baby Yoda.
Little Baby Yoda.
So I used Caleb's logic to get to a horse he hates.
You know, you'll probably be right there the way things have been going.
Is Channel Cat running?
No, but another one of Caleb's favorite horses is running later.
Yes, he is, and we are definitely going to talk about him.
I bet Channel Cat in this race before Baby Yoda.
We lose twice
Stephen
then.
Stephen Fox saying all Flightline has done is run big races. The classic who he's beat. Dr. Scheibel at least ran in the best race of the year for sprinters.
Flightline can run back to his Flightline can run back to his maiden race and win this.
Murphy's saying he doesn't think the race is that wide open. It's either Flightline or Dr. Scheibel. Flightline's maiden race has only returned 2 winners.
Hey, can I ask another question?
Mm-hmm.
Triple Tap was huge, right? That was the hype horse of the spring. And now we just glance over Triple Tap like nothing.
Wait. One of us talked about Triple Tap.
As a C, that doesn't count.
How does it not count?
Because you're going to take the 2 to 5 as the lone A with a C horse to back it up. Get out of town.
That I'm going to get double those odds on, probably.
I like Triple Tap here. I mean, I do sort of agree with Murphy's take. You know, I like Dr. Scheibel better than Triple Tap. But like I said, if I'm going to totally fade Flightline, which I'll probably will, I'll have Triple Tap on a ticket or 2. He'd probably be my second choice, actually. And I think that's a good point there, Brian. He does feel like he might be the Baffert that sort of does get overlooked, truthfully.
Just seems like one of those horses where, you're going to see Baffert at 4-1, and after the race, you're going to say, "Oh, how'd I miss that?"
Yeah, I'll probably have Dr. Scheibel the most, and then some Triple Tap, and then maybe a tiny baby sprinkling of Stiletto Boy to pay the rent. But those are probably the 3 I'm going to use.
In here that's run speed figures that are close enough to win this race. Now, granted, they were at classic distances, not going 7 furlongs, but that was a little interesting. I'm glad you brought Stiletto Boy up. I
mean, if you look at him, he doesn't look like a horse that should be running classic distances, at least not in my opinion. So I think this is the right move. It's definitely some deep competition.
And I will say that if on what he has run so far, I would agree, Murphy. But he's improved his first 2. Why wouldn't he improve again? I know something that just never happens, or the sheets say, or whatever. But I will say that if this does come up a little bit off track, if the rain does stick around, Flightline and Triple Tap are the 2 horses you want in here.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking last night, Stephen Fox, Murphy, and myself were playing League of Legends, and at some point, Murphy was just like real tilted, and he just goes, "This is why I don't play this shit." And he's just like really upset, and he's like, "Now I remember why I don't play this game." And so I just imagine him right now. He's watching the stream. He's like, "This is why I don't watch this shit."
I mean, because we just talked about all 7 horses in this race.
Murphy, so Triple Tap is fast enough, but Dr. Scheibel isn't. See, he's just.
I think I know what Dr. Scheibel is, right? And I don't think Dr. Scheibel is as good as Flightline. So I'm excluding it, and I'm assuming that Triple Tap can take a step forward and maybe contend. I have a beef against Dr. Scheibel. I've disliked the horse for a while now. No real good reason. He wins. He just never looks fast enough on paper. Yeah, I probably put it right in the winner's circle for you, Murph. So just single him, Murph.
Yeah, after the comment like that, I have a feeling that you put ketchup on a hot dog too.
Who doesn't put ketchup on a hot dog?
Oh man.
Stephen Fox, I know Dr. Shrivel is almost your BC Sprint winner.
Yeah, but freaking Aloha West is, which says a lot about that race.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's much worse than the optional claiming 40.
Really,
Brian,
really,
let
Caleb,
him know.
really.
Let him know about Catalano, Brian.
Who? Wayne? Are we talking about
No,
Wayne?
Yeah, we're talking about Wayne.
Where? What are you talking about? Oh,
God.
you lost me.
Brian zoned out.
Yeah, he's zoned out.
I was looking at Turfway. Sorry.
All right, let's move on to the American Oaks here. Grade 1, mile and a quarter on the turf. Your 9 to 5 favorite is going to be the 5 here, going global. Yeah, I mean, you got going global, you got Fluffy Socks at 3 to 1, and then you start getting into slightly longer prices, 6 to 1, 8 to 1. Caleb, we'll start with you. What do you like here? This is a turf going a mile and a quarter. This should be up your alley.
Yeah, these are my kind of races. So, first off, let me tell you what I don't like, and that's Mike Smith on the turf. Or really just Mike Smith in general. You could probably just end that sentence there. So I'm not going to have anything going through Fluffy Socks. I do respect going global. I think that horse, in my opinion, probably needs to be used. Does nothing wrong. But that's probably not my top pick. There's really just one horse I really want to talk about, even though it's not probably my top pick objectively. And that is the 2-horse Core Values. Now, this horse may not be fast enough to win. Hasn't ran particularly well in her last 2 starts. But in both of those starts, she caught some pretty soft turf. And if you look at the 3 starts she had before that on good to firm turf, she won all 3 of those, including the local prep to the Kentucky Downs race at Ellis in the Dueling Ground Derby. She actually took a lot of money in that Kentucky Downs race, which was a respectable field. She didn't run a step that day, but again, the track came up wet, and she went off 4 to 1. She got totally dismissed next time out, went off 57 to 1, and only got beat 3 lengths. Again, over a soft track, which I don't think she cares for. I don't think she's probably the likeliest winner in this race, but at 30 to 1, that's a horse that I just feel absolutely compelled to have to talk about. There's a lot of solid turf pedigree here. And I think that Vicky Oliver doesn't particularly do well in graded stakes, and by particularly doesn't do well, I mean she's absolutely terrible. But I think the horse is going to be an absolutely monstrous price. Could be the longest price on the board. Is a half sibling to Are You Kidding Me, who banked 1.3 million. There's a lot to like here, I think, and this horse is probably just going to get totally overlooked. So I like Core Values. I respect the favorite. And I'll use the 7 Burgoo Alley, but I'm sure somebody else can talk more about him.
I have Burgoo Alley as a lone A in the spot. So
Because of course you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think Burgoo Alley just makes a ton of sense here. You got Rispoli aboard. The horse just wins. Mark is going to bring up the fact that the horse wins every other race, and this is going to be the every other. And then I'm going to tell him I don't care. But I was interested in Burgoo Alley. I mean, the 2 short price horses in here are both the 1 and the 5. They look formidable. They look tough in this spot. And I really think the only other horse that's in here that has run a race fast enough to win here is going to be the 7 here, Burgoo Alley. And it does look like Burgoo Alley might be your leader in here. It might get a soft lead. And that's, was able to close into a slow pace last time out, but has also won wire to wire like in its maiden race. So I'm a fan of Burgoo Alley in the spot. I'll probably end up using the 5, depending on how I look, how I'm looking at earlier races. The 5 does seem like a really the 5 is gonna be tough in the spot. I'm gonna have the fade on the 1, Fluffy Socks. I do like this horse, but Mike Smith on the turf on a closer makes me want to puke. So I kind of think like this is going to be the takeout reducer in this race. It's going to be Chad Brown, so it's going to get bet. So you might get 9-5 on Going Global, which I wouldn't be mad about. 8-5, that price I think is very fair on Going Global. I'm just afraid the horse could be even shorter than that. But yeah, the 5 and the 7 are basically all I need here. I'll probably be a little bit pressed to the 7 though, as a low A. Mark.
Yeah, I do love me some Fluffy Socks. Fluffy Socks is one of my, I don't know, I have a massive soft spot for that horse. She always runs well over her head. I don't think she's the most talented horse, but man, she's a trier. But Mike Smith on turf, and I just can't do it. Any other jock, and it kills me because Jose Ortiz is here for the day and doesn't get the mount on Fluffy Socks. Like, that blew my mind, and I have absolutely no idea why Mike Smith is on this horse. I hope there's a last minute jockey change, and if Jose gets the mount, I'm much more interested in Fluffy Socks. But no, if there's one thing that I do love, it's Pasta on Lone Speed in the last race of the day at Santa Anita on turf. It's not a Mountaineer shipper, but I don't think you get any part of the 7 or whatever 6-1 or 8-1, whatever the stupid morning line is. 6-1 morning line on Burgoo Alley, but horse should be controlling pace in here. It makes a ton of sense. Pasta with apparently some choice of who he landed on in here sticks with this one, who he won a G3 on last out. Horse is 2 of 4 at Santa Anita, and I think it's a super interesting horse. I have a feeling that's just a really bad morning line, because if we're all talking about the horse, everybody must know it's there, and we're probably going to get 3-1 when the gates finally pop. But yeah, and then I think beyond that, it's pretty logical. I think Going Global makes a ton of sense. 4 for 4 across the track, 6-10 on the turf. Horse is loves to win, loves to get her photo taken. She's extremely talented, and I really can't fault her in here. But if Mike Smith retains Fluffy Socks, I think much like Josh, I'll be using a lot of Going Global and Burgoo Alley, and probably tossing Fluffy Socks.
Caleb, we didn't have the Burgoo at all when we were in Keeneland, did we?
No, we did not.
Yeah, we avoided it. I forgot if it was you or your dad who tried to get it once, and I think we were just got so confused by the food situation there that we're just like, whatever, the first thing we can find.
Yeah, I think that wasn't the first day we talked about it.
Yeah. Brian, Nick C's got a really good question in chat we're going to get to, but Brian, I want to hear your thoughts here because you're going to name a horse that we haven't talked about yet, I'm sure.
The best bet of the day.
Best bet of the day.
Best bet of the day. Number 4, nicest. Probably not fast enough, but has the 2 words I like the best. One's back, and the other one rhymes with ass. I think the horse fits well. McCarthy has an army coming out in this race, right? I think he has 5 entries. I expect some of the horses probably are going to scratch with the whole gaggle coming out. It's an interesting move. I like Johnny V coming aboard here, and this horse it's one of those horses where I think with what the horse has in its history as far as running lines and class, is probably fits very well in what probably could be a weak field. I said it. I know you guys all like Burgoo Alley, and the horse is a Lone Speed, but other than Burgoo Alley, Fluffy Socks, where are you going to look? Maybe a little bit of closing remarks, maybe a little bit of Single Soul, the 11 and the 3 there. But, there's so many questions here, and the 4 is proven it can run the distance. The 11 I liked originally, but I think the 11 is going to be a little too slow early, which might be a problematic to overcome. But I like nicest here. I think the morning line's 8-1. I think we see every bit of that. And, why not? Something different. You put me last, I will pick something different.
I mean, I actually don't hate nicest in this spot because I kind of agree with you. I mean, that Keeneland race, had some really, really nice runners in Shantasara and Technical Analysis in there. And they ran 120, 117 in that race. Neither of them have come back to run. Nicest did run here, the red carpet grade 3, but third by a half length to Neige Blanche, who's turned into a kind of a nice little horse. And was it Luck? Is that the other
yes.
horse there? So.
And everyone's favorite Canadian is agreeing with Brian.
Wushu? Oh, yeah, Sheldon. Sheldon says he agrees with Brian. Not the strongest field, JV, and a nice price.
Well, you know what? That's it. And if the Canadian has chimed in, I appreciate you, Sheldon. Thank you. I'll send you the money through PayPal now.
The Canadian has spoken.
Steven's asking how Shu feels about Shrivel. This is funny. Murphy here agreeing. He's like, man, core values does make a ton of sense. And he totally looked over her. KD shippers have been live too. Willing to forgive the Keeneland start. Last win was open company too. So he's taking a closer look there at the two core values. Not to be confused with the famous graded stakes running. I don't think he ever came close. Core beliefs, right? Isn't that like a Baffert horse? Was that the Baffert horse that was a blocker?
No, it wasn't a
that was
Baffert
Restoring
horse.
Hope.
It was
That
somebody
Restoring Hope,
else.
wasn't it? Yeah, whatever. I can never.
It was like a Dallas Stewart horse or something, I think.
Probably ran fourth in some big race.
Brian Lynch, maybe. Yeah, Brian Lynch.
So before we what do we got here? How much time we got till Keeneland?
2 minutes.
Two minutes.
Turfway. Yeah, Keeneland and Turfway. They can't be further apart. So we got 2 minutes going here. Nick C did have a question. He's got a quick bourbon question. He doesn't drink much, but he's got his dad blackened bourbon for Christmas. He didn't realize it's 114 proof. Have we had it? I have not had it. I will tell you, I know the gimmick. So they age these in barrels that have Metallica music playing at the barrels, and they each batch that they make has a different like album that they played during it, which is just like probably one of the most ridiculous premises I've ever heard. I mean, I know we have Jefferson's at Sea where they put the fucking barrels like on a boat and age them there.
For the record, that's a good one. I like that one.
That's a good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good, and I've also heard that this blackened is really good. It's just funny, like it's just like, hey, let's blast music at this thing and see what happens. But I think Clamps must have had it at some point.
That's got to be his like favorite bourbon. I mean, there's no other way.
I've never had it. I see it at the store all the time. I hear it's good. I hear it's bourbon. Brian, if you were to pick up that bottle randomly, that would have been fine. Caleb, have you ever had blackened?
I have not. I've never even heard of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's funny. No, yeah, Nixie didn't even know.
Hey, have you ever had what is it? Rabbit hole, rabbit punch, rabbit something?
Rabbit hole? No, I know that they do a sherry cask bourbon, and so I've been really interested to try it. I think it's called Derringer. I was actually at the store yesterday and I was looking at them and they didn't have that one there. Mark, you got anything here at Turfway?
Yeah, live to the 3, the 8, and the 10.
10.
3, the 8, and the 10. Brian
10.
says 10.
8's best on the pick 4, but I think this price on this 3 is kind of crazy.
I kind of like your 3.
Yep.
Is it Corrales?
It is Corrales.
It is.
Caleb's just gonna bet it blindly. He doesn't even care. 5 to 1 on Corrales.
See,
I feel like Caleb's judging me. This is sort of like when he judges me for just betting pasta on turf, you know?
Yeah, because both kind of work more than I want them to, and it kind of annoys me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
There's a super high 5 pool here.
There's the Woodbines. Woodbines got a super high 5 carry, doesn't it?
It's a jackpot there, right?
It's a force out, I think.
Yeah. Oh, is it a force out? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if it's tonight.
We'll have to ask Shu.
She might know they're loading in the gate here. And then we'll have a couple minutes to talk over some of these fairground races real quick. There is a is it on Sunday or is it tomorrow, Caleb? That the I saw that Staple Duel's running another contest, $50 10,000 guarantee.
I got the email. It was for Gulfstream, I believe, right?
It's Sunday.
Let me dig up the email. See if I can find it.
Yeah.
It is. Actually, the email it says get in tomorrow's, and that was at 8:45 a.m. today. So
Okay,
I guess
yeah,
it's
probably
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Christmas Eve. Gulfstream runs on Christmas Eve? I didn't even know that.
I think it's Gulfstream in Tampa. That's it.
A bunch of no wonder the Grinch tracks are on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, but yeah. So keep an eye out on that if you guys are stable dual players.
Oh, look at the 3.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Fucking
Caleb, he's moving too early, right?
It looks like it though, doesn't it?
I was hoping the 8 would have wired, but
Oh, shit, maybe he didn't. He actually might have moved too
he
early.
might have gone too early. This 4 looks loaded. Oh,
This
damn it.
21-1 horse looks like he's got a head full of steam.
Where did that horse?
All I kill on the forest does not fall off. Oh,
I
he's
don't know.
got a-
10's
Look at that ugly paddling action on the 4.
Can
Wow.
I get there?
10 dove inside.
Yeah, you're never going to pass inside this track. I mean, the 4 kind of came out on him. I don't think it was entirely his fault. But
Manual.
Well, that sucked.
Oh, that's
Well,
cool.
Did you cash pick 3 last race though?
Yeah.
Mark. Okay, nice. That's good.
2 races ago.
Oh, nice. That was the race that I got that I didn't get DQ'd on. That would have helped.
Yeah.
Oh, Sheldon says 1 minute's a post on the high five. $500,000.
Wow.
Oh, he said check that. Wait a second.
1
That's
minute
right.
post. All right, let's do it. What track we at?
Woodbine Standard Bred.
Oh, it's a super high 5. Oh boy.
Oh wait, no, I think there's still time.
I don't even been in the right race.
No, I think there's still time. I think it's race 12.
Oh, that's still a lot of time.
It's at 10:30. You still have another hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will tell you one of the fun. Yeah. Okay. He says 11:35 Eastern, so 10:30. So you got an hour and a half. I will tell you the one nice thing about Woodbine Standard Bred, they provide programs. So if you go to Woodbine's website, you can pull up the Standard Bred program, and you can wager at least with some kind of information in front of you. No speed figures, but they have, this is like your normal program you get from the track, but they're free. So yeah, definitely get involved. $500,000. It's going to be positive expectation. I'm sure Thunder Dan is probably just constructing some wild ticket to attack that. So,
Hey, Caleb, you want to guess where that 4 shipped in from?
Mountaineer.
That would be the place.
Yeah.
See, by default, just
Mountaineer
use all the
shippers
Mountaineer
is
shippers.
See, if you use the Corrales horse and the Mountaineer shippers, you'd probably still be
Shipper.
alive.
I would still be alive, yeah. Because there was another Mountaineer shipper that won on the card.
So we got a couple minutes left here. I did take a look, and I went over to look at a couple of races here at Fairgrounds. Race 9, the Buddy Dilberto Memorial 75K, mile 16th on the turf. This is going to start the Pick 5 carryover. So there's 2 different things going on at Fairgrounds. There's about $100,000 carryover in the late Pick 5 starting race 9. And then the Pick 5, that's all stakes, I believe starting race 7, is $100,000 guaranteed. There's one negative, and it's a big one. Mark, take a look at your rebate card for Fairgrounds.
Yeah. Rebate card? What rebate card? It's CDI.
Oh, you don't get rebates there? I will tell you that Fairgrounds Pick 5 is a 25% takeout bet. So
It used to be jackpot. It used to be
used
jackpot. until
so it's
recently.
gotten better, I guess, but it's still 25% takeout. So my advice to you is that the Pick 5 starting in race 9 will either be positive expectation or very low takeout. Play that Pick 5 if you're going to play either of them. The 100K guarantee all stakes one sounds great, but it's a 25% takeout. So when you got takeout like that, like the only way that you can make it feasible to play it is to play the carryover. Race 9 has got all kinds of Caleb, like your like second and third tier acquaintances are showing up here. Horses like Monarch's Glen.
Yes.
I know that's a horse that you're familiar with. Who's the other one? Midnight Tea Time. I think you were all over Midnight Tea Time on which one? Maybe it was this time last year. There was a race. I know you were all about it. Maybe it was a dinner party actually.
Yeah. Without spending much time on this race, I want to puke in my mouth, but Spooky Channel kind of looks good.
Yeah.
He sort of feels like he should be the favorite here, in my opinion.
Over Pixelate?
I think so.
I thought Pixelate looks, Pixelate's coming in a decent form.
I mean, he is, but no one's coming in here and that's a world beater. So,
yeah, I tend to. I think, this race sort of was a little bit rough. 1 second. Yeah, I think I ended up on Spooky Channel and Pixelate on top, but I also thought that somebody like maybe a Hierarchy, the 2, or even 40 under the 12, both made some sense. There were horses that had some back class or some back races that were competitive on this field. Just in this division and giving the company here, it's not a race I want to get super aggressive. I would prefer to spread and try to find some prices that have some upside.
I was basically agreeing with Caleb. I think I think Spooky Channel is like a lone A type horse in the spot. The horse is just in really nice form right now, and my only real concern is this too short for him. He seems to have done his best racing, going a little bit further, but he's also 2 for 3 at the distance, so maybe it's just not an issue. But yeah, I'd like Spooky Channel. I'm not interested at all in Pixelate. Pixelate just ran a clunker at the beginning of the Fairgrounds meet, and I'm just not thinking that the horse is going to be ready for anything here.
Let me just blow your mind for 1 quick second. Look at the 3. You know who was the best turf jockey at Fairgrounds last year, right?
James Graham?
Turf jockey.
It wasn't James Graham?
Nope.
The
Little
Biscuit? You like
Biscuit? Biscuit had a great meet last year in the turf, and I think the 3's going to get overlooked because of everybody else in this field.
Yeah, and your 3 is your horse for course horse, and Joe Sharp's barn has been firing and very well spotted. So I like your 3 quite a bit, Bray.
Any worry about name recognition on Logic Myth, named after the great TSM Myth, Fortnite player?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
No more questions, please.
Josh, you couldn't have pulled more disparate groups of people. like they couldn't have gotten farther
Caleb,
apart.
you know who TSM Myth is, right?
I don't actually know.
God, fuck! If Caleb doesn't know who he is, then maybe we're right.
Stay tuned to the top of the hour for candle making with Josh.
Dude, this
Only
might
if you
turn
played
into a
like
Fortnite-
tier.
This might turn into a League of Legends stream after after we're done here. So, Mark, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, nothing, Josh.
Oh, race 10, going a mile and 7 yards here. Mile and 70 yards on the dirt. This is about where I got to before I kind of stopped capping. So, Mark, I don't know. I know you.
Yeah, I sort of ended up
probably
on.
should look at it.
I ended up on 2 horses here. The only 2 I really want anything going through are the 1 Fanny and Freddie, and the 5 Cocktail Moments. I realize both of them are maiden breakers last out, but most of the field is a lot of horses that are, sort of taking a shot, see if they can do dirt, seeing if they can handle the dirt like, somebody like a California Angel, obviously. But no, I thought those were the 2 that were fairly proven horses that, again, off their maiden scores had figures that really sort of towered over this field.
Yeah, that 3-1 line on the 5 is awful. I think that horse is going to be even money, honestly. Maybe 6-5. Like, I don't understand 3-1 at all or what they were doing. But yeah, the 5s should win this race, given what we've seen from one start from her. There's not really any speed in this race, so I was trying to find the leader, and I guess it's probably the 3, but the 3 just seems pretty cheap. But I might give a glance to the 3 just because the 3 or the 4 kind of seem like the 2 horses that might get the lead. So I'd give a look to them, but I think the 5's the worst of the field.
I know Loveberry just picked up a win or two this last day that they raced. Was it Monday? So he might be, kind of getting a little bit more confident. I think he's a decent aggressive rider. So if he gets on the lead, he would be interesting. That I kind of agree with you, Caleb. That was the other horse I kind of looked at because it doesn't seem like we really have a true leader here, but at least on pace figures, the 3 looks to be kind of the speed here. But I think the only way that the 5 loses is if someone gets out on the lead and sets real soft fractions, and the 5 runs into trouble trying to track him down. But
yeah. So when I capped this, I was trying to figure out what on earth they're trying to do with California Angel. That sort of blew my mind. I mean, I thought that they gave the horse a dirt start. Horse didn't run well. He ran like absolutely freakishly well at Keeneland, the Jessamine, and ran pretty damn well considering all things in the Breeders' Cup, juvenile filly turf, and they're coming right back and trying dirt again. It seems I was baffled at why they entered in this race, but there's a few others in here that are sort of like this, where you're looking at them saying, okay, they don't have a surface win. They're either turf winners or synth winners, and they're obviously taking shots. But there were none of them that I thought were super interesting. I think that the logicals probably prevail.
all right, and lastly, the Gun Runner 100K race for 2-year-olds here, mile on the 16th. And I believe, is your more like favorite the 1? Yeah, the 1 Epicenter for Steve Asmussen. And really important to note, Steve Asmussen is 0 for 21. I think it might even be
0 for 22.
Is it 0 for 22?
Yep.
At this meet. And this is a meet that it's not. He doesn't exactly point to it, but like Steve Asmussen generally doesn't win at less than 15% anywhere. So this is, I think this is just kind of continuing his cold streak since the Saratoga meet, where he just tossed everything he could to try and beat the record. It's just kind of, I don't know, he's been kind of cold since the end of that Saratoga meet. So I don't know, could still be the best horse here, but just something to kind of keep in mind. Mark, what did you kind of see here?
Yeah, I moved Epicenter down just on Asmussen's record as of late. I sort of ended up on the 3 Rocket Dog and in the 6 Tejano Twist. Tejano Twist comes in off a 2-race win streak. That's sort of your experienced horse in the field. A lot of these are coming off maiden scores last out. And, Rocket Dog is another one like the horse in the previous race who had a real blowout maiden winning performance and, coming in for Brad Cox with flow up. All the connections sort of aligned. I would imagine Rocket Dog ends up going off your favorite at probably half of the posted morning line. I think it's another one that takes a ton of money. But I sort of want the new horse that probably has some upside in Rocket Dog. And then I want the sort of, battle hardened veteran of Tejano Twist, who's got 8 starts and, 3 wins, 3 seconds, horse that's run very well and consistently runs pretty well. And I want to think of most of my money going through those 2.
Caleb, were we at Keeneland for Tejano Twist last race?
I think we might have. That sounds right. Yeah.
October 22nd. Were we there? What dates we were there? Because were we there when Overboard ran again?
We were there when Overboard ran. I know that much.
Okay. Well, guess what?
That's the horse that beat Overboard.
That's the horse that beat Overboard.
No, Overboard lost to Avery Jane, I think.
Overboard also lost to Tejano Twist.
I mean,
Overboard
not
also
when we were
lost to
there. I
Tejano
think.
Twist. So, that's right, Averly Jane. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, Timeform loves Tejano Twist in this spot.
As does both BSF and Timeform does as well. Yep.
Yeah, that Keeneland race towers over this field. So that's kind of interesting. I kind of agree with you, Mark. I think it's the 3 or the 6 in the spot. The 3 is kind of got, it's the maiden winner that won pretty impressively. and you kind of expect the second time out to kind of see some improvement. And if the 3 improves at all, the 3 should win this race. But the 6 has got a figure two back that towers over this field as well. So
4.
Yeah. If
Yes,
Tahama's
Brian.
was-
Yes.
4.
Oh, you guys like the 4, huh?
Surfer dude. I mean, this horse seems to have maybe figured something out in the last start, progressing. I like the fact that the connections didn't drop the level on this horse, right? Came out at 50,000, got second, came 120, and just kind of flat at Churchill, but they kept the horse up there. And that tells me that they've got some high hopes for this horse. I like it. The horse is working out well on the works tab. Obviously, no notes, but Dallas Stewart, if I remember right, he's about 18% in the last 90 days, give or take. So I mean, him and Ray, they don't hook up a whole lot. So I'm not sure. I can't do much of the connections there. But Caleb's going to say something smart now, so go.
Nothing particularly smart. I just think that again, there's not really any speed in this race. I mean, I don't know what the 2 is going to do. Sometimes he breaks dead last, and sometimes he gets the lead. The 1 probably is your leader, but like Mark said, Ass Man is pretty cold. And that's it. There's no other speed here. I mean, the 4 should be on or just off the lead. He's bred to love going farther, even though his 1 try at a mile wasn't amazing. I think he just makes a lot of sense here. He's going to sit just off the pace. I mean, like Brian said, there wasn't no panic drop when he took a while to break his maiden. I mean, Dallas Stewart kind of takes a while to bring his horses along anyway. So yeah, I like Surfer Dude here. Yeah, I'm not against Mark's pick of Rocket Dog, but again, if he's going to be 9 to 5, then he doesn't do a ton for me. And Epicenter is in a cold barn right now, who I can't really bet. So yeah, I'm with Brian with Surfer Dude.
Yay! I sounded smart for once.
Well, I mean, don't go that far.
Go ahead, Bald Santa, say something.
You've been waiting for that all stream, haven't you?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean that's basically all I wanted to talk about. We had Mark, you had a nice little pick 3 there at Turfway. Unfortunately, it started before the stream started, but it's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. But yeah, guys, I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Have a happy holiday. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll be around. I'm planning still on streaming next Thursday. I'm off, so we'll see what's running New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and we'll get some stuff going. Ryan Howard saying Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Ryan. Thank you guys for coming. Murphy saying no Laurel Stakes analysis. I was talking to Murphy earlier, and he did. I said, hey Murphy, do you want to come on stream today? Because he's off today, and he didn't respond. And then he mentioned that Laurel has a stakes laden card on Sunday.
I thought he was going to write some content for ontherwronglead.com, right,
Yeah.
Murphy?
Yeah, Murphy, if you wanna write an article on therwronglead.com, we got stuff going on there.
So speaking of articles, Caleb, what do you got coming up?
Nothing. Between moving and the holidays, I've got nothing. Honestly, if I had anything, you should just bet it with both hands.
I was going to say, because there was a couple that we covered in there that seemed like good potential, Caleb articles.
Yeah, I'd like to do something on not Nashville, although that's my point.
Flightline.
Flightline, actually, but I just won't have the time.
Cool. Well, that's going to do it for us. Check out Manscaped. Check out Stable Duel. They got their big contest tomorrow, $50 buy-in, $10K guaranteed. Gino B and was it Mike or Matthew? I think Matthew might be on with Gino B this week. They're going to be covering the Stable Duel stuff for Santa Anita Opening Day. Check them out. I think our buddy the Wolf and Gino also have content for a Santa Anita contest. Pick'em. I think it's a combination pick'em and horse racing contest. I don't know if I thought they were doing it again because I talked to Chase a couple of weeks ago, and it sounded like he was still doing stuff for that. Make sure you check out Gino. I know he's got a ton of Stable Duel and other content out there. Crap, what else we got? Hopefully, I have a podcast coming up tomorrow. just something fun that I was working on. And then next week, I'm hoping to get Caitlin Free actually on for the podcast. So hopefully that will come through. And then, yeah, we'll be streaming next Thursday once again. Have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we will catch you guys later. What if I told you that the perfect man did exist, but he was cursed? I mean, he's just a complete handicapper. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, might be the best I've ever seen. He could be the best looking guy in all of horse racing. I mean, he gives Matt Bernier a run for his money. I mean, we all saw it. He was minding his own business, walking back from the bathroom. Hottest girl in the bar just grabs him and says, "Reel me in." Turns out you can't always be that lucky, though.
Zulu Alpha charges up the rail under Tyler Gaffleon and takes the lead late. Zulu Alpha wins the Pegasus World Cup Turf.